o'clock, we'll call the October 18th City of Cumming Planning and Zoning meeting to order. Item number 2, do I have a motion to the top agenda?
Make a move, we do so.
Second.
Move to second, everybody vote. Carries unanimous, thank you. Item number 3, to have approval of September 20th, 2022 meetings.
Motion we approve.
Minutes, I'm sorry.
Second.
Vote to second, everybody vote. Carries unanimous. Old business, zoning ordinance update, design review guidelines. If that's next month, actually now.
Yes, sir.
We're not doing anything?
I've given you, I know I've given a revised ordinance that Kevin's looked at, and I've also, we made some changes like we talked about in the process of it and how that's going to be handled. But my timeline is to try to get it for y'all for a public hearing next month and then get it to the council for a hearing in December.
Okay.
We'll do the 2 readings then.
All right. Okay, new business. First one, Marketplace 400 Area LLC, rezoning number 2022260. Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
Make a move, we open.
Second.
Motion second, everybody vote. Public hearing's now open. Sean, you wanna come up and tell us what we got going on?
Planning Commissioner Sean Courtney with Lipscomb Johnson, 112 North Main Street here in Cumming. On behalf of Marketplace 400 Area LLC. So this is a zoning to HB for a Lazy Boy furniture store. We've agreed to some conditions related to signage, entrances, retaining walls, dumpsters. We also have an elevation, and there's a couple of staff conditions. Be glad to answer any questions.
Okay. This was pretty straightforward. Anybody got any questions, board? Any comments on conditions?
I know.
No, sir. Okay. Is there anyone else that'd like to come speak for or against this? Do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Move to close.
Second.
Move to second, everybody vote. Public hearing closed. Scott, have you got a staff report on this?
Yes, sir. The agent has made application on behalf of the property owner to the proper authorities to rezone 2.092 acres more or less from office, commercial, multi-story to highway business with conditions for the construction of a retail establishment. The applicant's requesting a 50-foot variance to the 100-foot building setback adjacent to State Route 400 and a parking variance of 3 spaces, reducing parking to 48 spaces provided. Future land use designates the area commercial, so the rezoning request is in conformance with the city's comprehensive plan. In addition to the submitted conditions, the following conditions also apply. Number 1, a landscape plan must be submitted and approved by the Department of Planning and Zoning. Number 2, the proposed entrance to this development on Marketplace Boulevard must be approved by the Forsyth County Engineering Department. And number 3, any site plan changes must be resubmitted to the city for approval.
Okay. One question there, and I probably should ask Sean, but y'all answer this right now. We're giving a reduction of buffer on 400, but there's still a tree line there, and there's 50-foot undisturbed in this block. I mean, that's heavily wooded, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I make a motion then that we send Marketplace 400 Area LLC rezoning number 2022260 forward to the council for approval with the presented conditions and also adding the conditions provided for in the staff report. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion second. Everybody vote. Carries unanimous. Thank you. Okay, item B, Providence Group Condition Amendments number 2021293. I have a motion, we open public hearing on this one.
Move we open.
Second.
Vote second, everybody vote, carries unanimous. Which one wants to come talk to us?
Clint, I don't know. Okay. Warren through
Mayor, Madam Chairman, Warren, a member of the commission, I'm Warren Jolly with the Providence Group. This is Clint Walters also. So basically, obviously, we were back before you. We zoned this in January 14th of this year. We basically have a few things we like to clean up. We had obviously you guys are familiar, a lot in depth, a big plan. And so we're going to go through just a couple things that we like to changes within the plan. One thing's been asked for us from staff to look at. And so the biggest thing, I know we wanted more retail in our plan, when we first started. And so we had 32,000 square feet of retail in the first phase. And we're asking for, be able to raise up to 52,000 square feet of retail for that first phase. And we were gonna get into the difference. Basically, we wanna take one building from 2 stories to 3 stories that face the apartment building, which would be the main building that you coming in. So we've asked for that condition, and then the height to be changed from 3 stories to 2 stories.
Hold on, if you don't mind, let's go by it. That
So
was
it'd be condition
2,
number 2,
and then we're going to.
A1, yeah.
Okay.
And then the three stories is condition 14.
On that one, the only thing we need to add to that is build at the southwest corner, am I saying that right? There's some right out on Highway 9.
It's not-
They're
it is
little
the
buildings. I
southwest
don't
corner
think,
of the development.
you don't want them 3 stories anyway, but
No,
we just need
this is
to
an
make sure.
internal building, so you could say any buildings along the front of Highway 9, or this is an internal building.
Internal, yeah.
Is it right across, that faces that Village Green that we had, that was part of that,
Yeah.
right across from the apartments?
Yeah,
Okay,
We can exclude the yellow buildings on the corner somewhere.
yeah,
That's
that's
fine.
what I was asking.
Southern.
something like I said, we'll add some kind of language to exclude those, because they're right out on the corner of the property, but, okay, go ahead,
You want to
please.
go on number 16 then?
You have that slip sheet? You took all the paperwork from me.
Mr. Chairman, you've got a sheet in your packet earlier there that talks about the questions that we asked and their responses in red.
Yeah.
It's right there, behind the staff.
I would just make sure we need to add, make a note on condition 14, we need to add the language.
Yeah.
For condition 16, we've actually modified it from what was submitted to you in the package. I gave Ralph a copy, and I've got some more copies I can hand out, but I'll read it for the record first. It says, the Dahlonega Highway mixed use shall have a minimum parking ratio of 4 spaces per 1,000 square feet for the retail, restaurant, and office. A maximum 20% reduction in parking in the Dahlonega Highway mixed use may be permitted by city staff. The indoor amenities shall be excluded from this calculation, and the parking requirement shall be approved by city staff prior to issuance of a land disturbance permit. The associations may include shared parking allowances in the declarations of covenants, conditions, covenants, and restrictions.
Clint, you said you have an extra copy of that?
Yes, sir.
And the main thing there is you're trying to take out the pickleball square footage, where you don't have a
Correct.
bunch of parking for whatever pickleball court
We don't
covers, I
want to
don't
get
know.
penalized for the indoor space.
Right, I understand, that's agree.
Okay.
I got you. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
any other, when y'all got any questions, jump into whatever.
That was, just to clarify the square footage, that was an increase to 52,000, did you say?
Gonna increase it
20,000,
20, okay.
20,000,
Okay.
from 32,000 to 52,000.
Is that specified of what you're gonna be in there yet, or you just gonna be room space?
You want to? Right now, the top floor will be office. The top floor would be office, and that's one thing, and so the bottom obviously would be what we think is more restaurant entertainment.
Right.
And then the second floor would probably be office also, but what we got to use it for the top floor being office. And then also, if you get to page 9, where you talk about where the buildings face the green, which are the apartment buildings. Because we're adding this other square footage, it's really conflict with parking and so forth, so Darren with Worthing basically want to look at taking that out, because there's a little, we had some retail underneath there, but there's a little jewel box retail center that we're going to put in the middle of in the lawn that kind of takes that square footage over, but it's part of that 52,000 square feet. So it's taking that out, so we're really not asking for 20,000 more, because we're taking some out here, taking 4,600 out, but part of that 52 is that little jewel box that goes on the lawn. It's really a kind of a neat, aspect.
So net change of plus or minus 15,000 feet.
Correct.
Okay.
And then, condition 45 was asked, I think some other multifamily developers have been asked, and we were asked to look at considering this, to allow 4 residential units for post-certified law enforcement officers. That would be 2/3 of the published market rent. And so I think you guys have done this in some other projects. We said we'd be more, Darren, the owner of apartments, I don't think he's here yet, but he said he'd be more than happy to abide in doing this. If you look at the apartment units, we didn't have as many as some others, so that's why we agreed to four. Instead of five. Also, just a minor little deal, we went through all these setbacks and all these zoning conditions, and as you guys know, the multifamily is always sometimes sold to an institutional use down the road, 5 years, 10 years. And they go through all these zoning conditions when they're, especially when they're mixed-use zoning like this, and making sure there's no variances or any other thing needed to close. So one of the things we didn't have in there, we had in every section, because we had an office, and residential, but we failed to have a setback section in the apartments. And so condition 46 just adds a setback. So nothing moves, nothing changes. The property lines are just like they are. But if somebody were to go back and pull these zoning conditions up in 3 or 5 years, they would know that they don't need a variance to purchase the apartment buildings.
The only thing on that one, Warren, we need to look at is, if we go forward to this, the 10 feet between buildings, we just need to provide provided it meets building and fire codes.
Yeah, I think if you want to add that, long as all buildings meet fire code, we're fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, I think that's it.
Rest of it's renumbering, I think.
Yeah, I think they just renumbered after that.
Well, tell Lamar, I never broke 100 in zoning conditions, so I think we came back, and we are at 101 now. So we were at 99, and so we wanted to get to 100, so I think we may be there if you guys vote on us favorable.
It suits me if we don't have 3 anymore, I'll be fine. All right, thank you. We may have some more questions in just a minute, but that's it right now. Thank you. All right, now, have anybody else that would like to speak or ask any questions in public about this application? Anybody from, y'all got any more questions before we close the public hearing on this? I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on Providence Group Condition Amendment Number 2021293. Do I have a second?
Second.
Vote, second, by vote. Public hearing closed. Scott, do you have a staff report?
Yes, sir. The applicant has requested amendment to the zoning conditions as approved for rezoning number 2021293 on January 18th, 2022. Attached, please find their requested changes as well as their response to our comments, which Mr. Jolly's gone through. Staff recommends approval of the condition amendments, provided Providence's proposed changes comply with all building and fire codes.
Okay. And the changes we talked about during the presentation, you've got notes on those? And those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Y'all got any other comments or questions? Okay, I make a motion, we send Providence Group Condition Amendment Number 2021293 forward to the council for approval, as submitted and with the few changes we've talked about added to these changes in the meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Vote second by vote. Carries unanimous. Thank you. New business C, Central Forsyth Properties LLC, rezoning number 2022261. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion, we open the public hearing.
Motion say nobody vote. Carried unanimous. Public hearing's now open. Somebody want to come up and talk to us about this one? Hold on, let me get my paperwork straight.
Good evening, everyone. Ryan Jones. I'm with Hussey Gaybell Engineering Company out of Duluth, Georgia. I'll most likely be the engineer of record for this project. I'm the one who came up with the site plan. What you're looking at is a 41.2 acre piece of property that we're seeking to rezone. Only 7.7 of that. The survey's been completed and turned in. The current zoning, of course, you guys know, is OCMS. We're seeking PSC to match what's right across the street with the Ashley store and everything else. It's going to be like another furniture store. Don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Ryan Jones, 2675 Lansing Lane, here in Cumming.
Just anybody got any questions? We got some conditions on this one.
Yeah, there are conditions, and the client and the seller are all in agreement.
Okay, you got any other questions?
Good, I'm good.
All right, do we have anybody else that would like to speak for? Okay, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Move it close.
Move to second. Somebody vote unanimous. That's public hearing's closed. Scott, you got a staff report.
Yes, sir. The applicant has made application on behalf of the property owners to rezone 7.7 acres more or less from office, commercial, multi-story to planned shopping center with conditions to construct a retail establishment. Future land use for this area is designated commercial, so the rezoning is in conformance with the city's comprehensive plan. In addition to the submitted conditions, the following conditions also apply. Number one, the architectural design of the building shall be substantially similar to those requirements in the pending Cumming design guide. Number two, landscape plan must be submitted and approved by the Department of Planning and Zoning. Number three, Forsyth County Engineering must approve both proposed entrances for this development. And number four, any site plan changes to be submitted to the city for approval.
Okay, we need to add one more condition to this, and hold on, let me find the one that matches. And got too many things up here today. We need to also add a condition saying, we need a site plan that marries the 7.7 acres to the concept plan that was presented at the rezoning in 19 or 20?
21, actually.
Before city council approval. We understand it now, and I understand the time constraints on this one, but before it gets to the council, we need you to submit a site plan that, yeah, that ties the 7.7 acres to the concept plan presented at that time.
You're talking about referring to the whole one for the 134 acres?
Just,
All of
yeah,
it.
and it's not a set in stone, it was just a
Right.
concept, we just
Right.
need to see how we're taking it.
Okay.
It was the same use up front, it's
Yeah.
just a different
Yeah.
size building and a little different configuration.
Right, that's right.
Are you talking about the overall 41 point acres, or is this a different development?
No, it's the.
I've got the, like, the overall one I got from the seller's agent. I tried to like mix them together, but.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna take, you're gonna have to get with the existing owners and kind of figure out that
Yeah.
tie-in and show us. You may have to alter it just a little, but we just need to know how we're taking that apart,
Yeah,
because that
yeah,
was
we can
kind of even though it was not a complete mixed-use rezoning, the concept was presented at the time, and we need to kind of keep that
Yeah,
flowing.
yeah, that's fine.
All right. Okay, any other questions? Then I make a motion, we send Central Forsyth Properties LLC rezoning number 2022261 forward to the council for approval with the presented conditions, the conditions added to by the staff report, including the one we've just spoken about. Do I have a second? Motion second, everybody vote. Carries unanimous. Thank you. Any announcements?
No,
Fair's over.
fair's over, yeah. That's big enough.
All right, I have a motion to adjourn. Motion adjourned. Motion second, everybody vote. Meeting adjourned. Thank y'all.
Thank you.